I'm going to try and follow your instruction as to how to cut this cocoa and replant it. But that's not the reason for this video. I'm going to try and answer some of your questions, and it might come across repetitive to some of you who have been there with me for a very long time now. Well, not for a very long time, but for those of you who have been there for a couple of months now, some of what I'm about to say and show you might be repetitive, but please bear in mind that I have to cater to all of you, for those persons just joining us and for those of you who have been there along the journey. My name is Marie. If you're watching this video for the first time, welcome to the family. This is our container garden, and we're located in Jamaica. Beautiful island of Jamaica. All right, I'm going to get back to this cocoa plant, but I'm going to answer some questions that have been asked. And I know some of you are watching and you're not able to ask questions, or you did not get the response that you needed. So I'm going to get into details. And one of those questions is, why go through the trouble of planting in containers? Why don't you just plant in ground? That question I'm going to answer, not just telling you, but showing you why. All right. I think the first question, the best location to answer it will be right here, because the answer is right here. So you asked, and when I say you, it means several persons. These questions I'm about to answer, several persons asked the very same question. You ask, how did I start my garden and when? I'm going to answer both in one. So we started the garden with this tire right here, along with the bathtub that I'm sitting on. And how that started was, our family enjoys callaloo, and we went to the market and bought some. Essentially, it didn't taste the way all my family is used to it, because we're from the country and I used to plant it there and cook it for them. So they are aware of what fresh callaloo is supposed to taste like, and they weren't happy with it. And so my husband, along with my son, encouraged me to start planting callaloo again. He had this big tire that he was using for exercise, and this stuff that he bought for me about 3 years prior to plant callaloo in. And I just said, you know what, cut the tire and let me start. And that is how I started. Now, you ask, how long ago we started the garden? Yeah, I think that was the question. Yes, how long ago did I start the garden? So we purchased the property just over 10 years ago. 10 years ago, or 11, going on 11 years ago. And immediately after purchasing, before we even started construction, we started planting stuff like watermelon. Wherever we could find location to put them, we'd plant watermelon. Whenever we cut the shrubs and the trees off of the property, we would burn them and then plant pumpkin. So even before we knew where we were going to put the first column, we started planting. And we just started buying 1 and 2 fruit trees and started planting them all over the property where we could find areas to put them. And I'm going to explain why we had to find specific areas to put them shortly. And so immediately, because we just love growing our own food, as I said, I'm from the country. We are used to running to the backyard to grab whatever we need to eat fresh. And so that is the reason why we needed a property. That's another story, guys. I might just give you a little bit of that, because we love planting our own food. So to answer that question, how long ago we started planting fruit trees and started the garden, it was close to 11 years ago that we started, and we just keep adding stuff, and that's how we ended up with farming on the rocks. No, that's another thing too. Farming on the rocks is a whole other story. Let us get into that as well. So you might be wondering, how is it you started farming 10 years ago, but your channel is only 1 year and change old? That is because we didn't start farming because of YouTube. We started YouTube because of farming. I knew nothing about social media, guys. Absolutely nothing apart from maybe WhatsApp, and I had a Facebook page from when I just left school. Apart from that, guys, I knew nothing about social media, but my children, they were born in a different era. And my husband also he will go on social media more than I do. Not being on there, but just checking out what's happening in the world. And so my husband and my son mostly, they said, you always doing stuff in the garden, and there are people with land and they're just struggling, and if you share what you're doing, chances are you might motivate or inspire somebody to do it too. Guys, I had no idea whether or not you could make money off of YouTube. My son took the phone from me and did the first video and just said, Mommy, whenever you're in the garden, just video what you're doing and share it so persons can see and learn something from what you're doing. And so that's how the channel started. That was in 2023. It's not 2 years yet since the channel started, and I just started sharing, and then because of the feedback that I keep getting from you, the viewers, I just decided, look, I'm gonna put in a little more pound into this because I see where it makes sense and it is worth it. And that's the reason there's such a gap between when we started the garden and when we started the channel, because the garden was to feed us, the channel to inform and share with you. Came way after years of them telling me, share your recipe, share your garden. And that's why there's such a space in between. Now, the reason for the name Farming on the Rocks, and the reason I plant in containers. Let's get to that. That's one of the most asked questions since the last maybe month or so, both on the videos and on Instagram. So let me share that with you. Ah, guys, these are called banana leg tomatoes, and they're so beautiful. I can't wait for them to start um, turning color so we can see how beautiful they look. They're kind of stripy. They're pretty. So the other day we harvested a yam from back here. Well, several yams from back here. And I believe 3 or 4 persons left comments, and I appreciate the comments, and it's one of the things that helped me to do future videos explaining and helping persons who really don't understand why I do what I do. And trust me, I would have the very same questions because I grew up in the country and I've never seen anything like this before doing it myself here. I've seen container gardening, and I took inspiration from them, but some of the things that I try in containers, guys, I've never seen it before. And so I would have the very same questions. Why don't you just plant it in the soil? The yams that I planted in the containers back here, these dashings, the ideal thing to do is to plant them in soil. That way you get more moisture around the plants, you get bigger tubers and stuff like that. But the reality for me is I just don't have the means to plant these in soil, and that is why they're in containers. This is what my land space look like. Let me show you here, but I can take you at a different section of the property to show you exactly what the land space look like, and it represents what the entire property look like. I appreciate those questions because I would have had the same questions if I saw someone else going through the challenges that I face planting these things in containers. This is what my entire property looked like, guys. When we bought this property, the only thing that were on the property was shrubs and maybe one or two viney plants with there was absolutely no edible vegetation on the land. This is what it looked like. When they say the wise man builds his house upon the rock, we are literally living on the rock. And it was very easy for my husband to come up with the name Farming on the Rock because that's what we are doing. There is absolutely no soil. This is one section of the property. I'm going to take it to the other section to show you exactly what it looks like. Yeah. So this is the main container garden area. And on that side, we have some fruit trees. We do have fruit trees on this side as well. This is my mango tree that just started blossoming, and this one will start ripening round about April, May. It has produced so many mangoes. Well, let me take you to here. Might look like soil, but it's dump. We actually bought material and dump it to make the driveway. It was actually the same set of rocks that I'm about to show you on this side that were all over here. Let's go on that side. This is my gungo peach tree that we harvested from together just before Christmas, and a recent video as well. It was planted we just dug out an area between the rocks, filled it in with soil, and planted it along with all the other fruit trees. That mango tree right there, my husband burnt the rock, wet it, and then use a sledgehammer to break the rocks to make a space to fill in with soil, and planted the mango tree. The mango tree somehow made its way, the root, through those rocks, and has been doing excellent. Guys, don't ask me how the roots got through, but it did. I'll stop here because there's a sweet sap. I'm not leaving it for the birds. See that? Eyes wide open. I don't open my eyes on it, the birds will eat it for me. The birds has to eat too, guys. Yes, I totally agree. And some of you would say, Mary, the birds has to eat too. Yes, but just over here from me, there's a woods. And in that woods, there are so many wild berries that Father God prepare and present on the table for the birds. And right now I'm looking at some. And they rather to come and eat this. And once this is done, they eat that. So if I pick my what's this? My sweets up, they shouldn't be too upset. Because I plant this for myself. Alright guys, let's go. Guys, if you look closely, right there you see some red berries. Right there. They have to come and eat that. I'm too naughty, man. Eat the berries. God provide those for them for free. Free. I take a sit down. Guys, this is my boy's cricket bat. Who used to make cricket bat? Now that right there, guys, that's my guava tree and that's my pomegranate. And this is the land space. This is the opposite side of the property from where the garden is. This is why we plant in containers. We have no choice. Even though some of the stuff I would still plant in containers if I had the choice, just so I could avoid slugs and stuff like that. I'd still elevate certain things and I'll still plant certain things in containers. As my mother did plant stuff in containers, even though we had land to spare. So, to answer your question, the very long way around to answer your question. Why don't you just plant in the ground? This is why, right here. But certain things, I just love planting in containers. For example, these strawberries, guys. I would still plant these in containers. It looks neater and it's up off the ground from the pest, because even though I'm planting in containers, pests still give me a hard time. So I could just imagine if I was planting in the soil where things like slugs and so had access to them. I don't have slugs here. We struggle with the heat. We struggle with the heat, but it's a plus because we don't have to tend with slug. We do have a few little tiny snails that are protected in little shells, but because the slugs don't have shells, even if I should take in soil with slugs or their eggs, they would not survive one day without watering. So thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. But things like whiteflies, guys, and the aphids, my word. Now, one of you ask, still answering questions, guys. What do I do regarding the whiteflies? Guys, I used to use ash, burnt ash from my coal stove, and it seemed to have worked for a period of time. And then it just seemed like the whiteflies got immune to the ash, and so it does not work anymore. I plant marigold, and I see where it has helped tremendously. So I recommend planting marigold. Marigold will attract both bad and good insects to your garden though. But I see wherever the marigolds are, I don't have the whiteflies. Um, I don't know what to do to prevent aphids from attacking. These are aphids under the leaf of the pepper. What I do to get rid of them, guys, this is diatomaceous earth. If you're seeing some white stuff on there, it is not getting rid of the ants and it's not getting rid of the aphids. I'm seeing less whiteflies, so it seems as though it helped with the whiteflies. The most effective thing for me for the aphids is soapy water, and you have to do it repeatedly because the eggs keep hatching, and I don't know what bring the ants bring the aphids to the plant, yes, but I don't know what lays the eggs for the aphids. I've yet to research that, but as soon as I find out, I'll share it with you. So yes, I do. I hope that answered your question. If not, you can ask again in the comment what you need. Yeah, but it's horrible. These pests. Guys, you also asked, how do I get my cabbages to look this good? I used to plant cabbages that I source overseas, the seeds, and they did poorly. I'm not sure if it's climate specific seeds, why they didn't do as well, but these have done extremely well. These seeds I purchased locally. Some I purchased the reds and my husband purchased the greens for me. In a previous video, I did show the packet that the green came in. It's a brown packet. It has no label. It just says green cabbage. And one of you gracefully informed me that that seed is from Rada. And that seed was purchased at our feed shop on Orange Street, downtown Kingston. There's a shop that sells chicken feed. I don't remember the name of the shop, but it's on Orange Street and it sells iPro feeds. I think it sells um Nutramix as well. The signs is there. So if you're driving along that roadway, it's on your right going up. I think you can only go up Orange Street. That is where we purchased the green one. The red one is available at the Shoppers Fair supermarket. We bought it on the boulevard at that Shoppers Fair supermarket. So the seeds were purchased locally, and I'm assuming it's the seed that does best in our climate, because I've planted seeds from overseas and they don't do as well in the heat the way these does. If you'd like for me to do more videos like these answering your questions, you can let me know. Ask more questions in the comment section of this video, and I can't promise a question and answer video every week or every other day or so, but I'll definitely bear your questions in mind whenever I do another video like this. So please let me know in the comment, and if so, put your questions there and I will try and answer them as best as possible. One of you asked where I get rabbit manure. The manure is the reason why we got the rabbits in the first place, because it's very hard to get. The person used to sell us before, he told us point blank not to tell that we got it from him because he does not have enough to sell to the public. It's just because it's a friend of ours. He did us the favor. And it's the same thing with the soil. The gentleman has his private property and he just does us the favor and sell it as a minimal cost. So it's not a commercial soil that we use. And then for the other soils, we just collect it wherever we can and make it as best as possible. And so, yes, to answer your main question of why don't you just plant in the soil? Why are you fighting the container? Just plant it in the soil. We don't have soil. We don't have any choice. I would much rather the easier way, trust me. But we have to grow food, and if this is the way it's gonna be done, it has to be done, and so we're doing it. All right, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your suggestions, your advice. Appreciate them. Thank you for watching this video. Please continue to like and share. Once you're watching, just press the thumbs up if it's something that you enjoy, and if it is something that is encouraging, inspiring to you, please share so others will be able to find the channel the same way you did. All right, thank you again. And if you're watching and you've not yet subscribed, please press the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you'll see the next question and answer, the next video. Usually it's every day. I am going to take a break soon, but you'll know. And if so, I might just post older videos so you're able to occupy your time until I come back. All right, guys, take care. See you in the next one.